As all of us can see, everything has changed and developed. Nothing looks as it was before. One of the famous and important examples of change is food. As a citizen in UAE, I heard a lot of change in how people were getting food and how was their life before the discovery of oil. That's actually led me to interview my father's uncle who lives in Abu Dhabi and he is 82 years old. As always in winter we go to his manor. For those who don't know what manor looks like, it's a land and desert that people own. They put their camels and cattle and put a big tent for people who come and visit them. Actually you can build whatever you want and have whatever you like. And Friday night we went to visit him. After lunch I saw him alone, so I went to ask him some of the questions that I was interested on. At the beginning of the interview, he was so happy and smiling that I was asking him about the past. Firstly, I asked him, how was your life? What does change comparing to today? Simply, he answered me, it was hard, but our mind, our thinking was so comfortable. What he means, his responsibility was taking care of his wife, children, beside of his camels and cattle. Not as nowadays, they have a lot of things to take care of. He took care a lot for his cattle and camels because he got the meat, milk and leather from them. Kindly I asked him, why leather? What it's help for? He told me they were making a flask to save their water and for clothing. So as an interesting year I asked if men were taking care of the cattle and camels, then how about women's? What were they doing? What I understand from him that women taking care of their children besides going and collect small pieces of food to cook their lunch, breakfast and dinner. Besides of that, they sew the clothes and see if her children went to the khatib, who's the teacher that teaches them Quran. When he told me that women were the one who doing the lunch, it's leading me to my next question, which is from where they get the rice and spices. Actually, it was an interesting answer because they were getting them from the sailing vessels that come from India. At lunch, there was limited option, not like nowadays food. It was either white rice with chicken or a traditional food called majboos, which its rice has mixed spices and some vegetables as tomato, carrot and Romaine pepper. I asked him which one was your favorite. He told me majboos. And he told me that it's his favorite food till now nowadays food is not that interesting to him as it's for others. We felt that the weather become colder, so I asked him interesting how was their life in different seasons. Basically he said in winter they go to the sea coast and in summer go to Al Ain because the dates also the cultivated palm, mango, lemon were existed there. And he also told me that I remembered him about the ocean when he went to for 2 to 3 months to dive and get the pearl from the shellfish. Also fishing because before they don't have the tools and equipment that they're using it nowadays. That makes fishing an easy job. They bring with them a dried meat with salt as a decor for the fish and some dates for them. Speaking about ocean leading me to think from where they got water because as all of us know water is an important factor of a human body and one of the human instruments to survive. Besides that it's an important for all living things as plant and animal wherefore they need water to live and without them there will be no lives as a human depend on them for food. So he told me where actually dig until we reach the water and then make a well for storage. We use a pottery to save water. It's work as a refrigerator in nowadays life. They use a pottery be more interesting with it. So I asked what other things use pottery for. Mostly he said we do a cooking pot to cook our food on, and as I told you, to save water. Also, we do the plates that we use to eat. After a period of time, we use a cover, which is a good method for cooking food. We bought them from the sailing vessels that come from India, Yemen, and trades who come in camel and horses. As we talking about the trays, I had that question, which is where they sell the food. Actually, they had the folk markets where people buying the sale stuff and food. For example, meat where they get from camels and sheep, vegetables that they were getting from their farms, some of spices, rice, and the equipment that they use for cook that's come from other countries. Dates they get them from the palms that they grow in their farms. We can see here that nowadays life is so different than he described it. The trades become easier and faster than before because the transport developed a lot. Instead of camels, horses, and the sailing vessels, we have cars, trains, planes, and developed ship. Furthermore, the food itself changed a lot, and by a lot I really mean that much change. Now we have used the meat that we got from the sheep and camel to do burger, steak, and other. Although we still making white rice and traditional food for lunch. Furthermore, I really enjoyed interviewing my father's uncle. It's really a nice thing to know this kind of information from him, as he lived a life completely different than us. Also, I remembered him about some stories that he had when he was a child and how they grew from a small town to a city that shook the people from how it's developed and changed from becoming nothing to something that everyone loves. Finally, we can see how the agriculture sector and the economy have to interacted to create a change from regional agribusiness and how really the trade and the way of living changed from the past. This leads us to know how agriculture has changed our life and how is it that important in every country. As Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan said, give me agriculture and I will give you civilization. Without describing, look around you, you can see how he succeeded.
Humans are addicted to the food with its various kinds since it's considered as essential component necessary for continued survival. I have done an interview with my mom, which grows up in the rural area in Al Ain, which is her hometown. She was born in 1965. Through her life, she passed with many changes, including the food, which is almost changed than the previous years. The thing that prompted me to hold a meeting with my mom that she has enough background about the food and its change among the last 53 years. A long time ago, Emiratis people used to eat food consisted mainly of fish, rice, bread, milk, homegrown vegetables such as onion and tomato. And they also eat meats from camels, goats, and sheep, while their sweet were the dates and the honey. Moreover, Emiratis are known of their delicious traditional dish such as margouga, القيمات, هريس, مجبوس, بلاليط, and thread, which is reflect an authentic taste of Emirati cuisine. Food such as fish and rice are still available today. Also, dates are available, but a new type of it appears. Moreover, new kinds of fruits and vegetables have been grown in the UAE, like strawberry, mango, lemon, cucumber. After the discovery of oil, UAE's population are affected by people in other countries by dealing with them through trade. So, Emiratis starting to eat all delicious dishes all over the world began setting up India, Italian, French, and many other restaurants inside the UAE. In the past, people were buying their food from a salesman or by using existing methods such as swapping, which depends on exchanging items between UAE's Emiratis. For example, some people in Al Ain had exchanged lemon and fire steaks with the people in Dubai to get fish and rice. I was addicted to marguga gemat chicken soup with white rice and majboos, and I'm still in love with this tasty food. Also, I became in love with Lebanese food such as shawarma, hummus, fattoush, and tabbouleh. Mom said, His Highness Sheikh Zayed has left a great impact on UAE environment. He converted a dairy-barren desert into a green paradise. Therefore, they had called him Environment Man. Thanks to him for the treatment of soils state and turned into soil stable for cultivation of many crops that provide the needs of population. As a result, we can see how a new kind of trees, crops, and beans are appearing nowadays, and new methods are appearing to develop processing a new type of food in our country to help in converting the needs of and reducing import product across our economy. To sum up, I'm glad to have the opportunity to know more about the food history in my hometown, and I am very proud and grateful for the effort that country cherished under a proper food diet, which covers everyone's need.
We heard from our interviewers they have different lifestyle than our life because of the harsh environment they have been lived in comparing to our environment. The most important topic we want to discuss is trade, which kind of food they got and how they got it.
Their trade was so hard in the past comparing by today. The sailing vessel, camels and horses, they are all considered as an old way of transportation that they was depending on it in previous days. But now people are depending on airplanes, ships and many modern transportation which has developed our trade, such as food trade, which become more easier, and this development protect the food from damaging, and we are receiving it now with high quality which keep it valid for a longer time.
For example, banana productivity chain. It's passing by some steps, such as washer and baker, export and import shipping, ripening and supermarket. And this ensured that they delivered in a high quality for consumer.